Hello, and welcome back to our Elite Escapes. I'm Jim Sadlier, and today Dan, Melody, and I head to South Africa. And here we go.
All right, off we go. South Africa. First stop Newark, and then to Cape Town. See you soon.
Looking forward to it. Bye.
Cheers. After our nonstop flight, we arrived into the mother city, Cape Town, where we headed directly to our hotel, the Radisson Red, and we went to town. Look at all this food we had. It was so good. It was a true feast, and we even got to celebrate Melody's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I hope you had a great day. The next morning, we got some sleep, but we woke up early to have some breakfast before we went to Three Anchors Bay for our kayaking adventure. We had a little training, and off we went. You ready to go?
I'm looking forward to it.
There you go. Straight ahead. And straight ahead we went, but look at these views. I mean, you could see Signal Hill, Lion's Head, Table Mountain in the background, and even the 12 Apostles. Plus, we had a little visit by these penguins. Such a great experience. We then went to Table Mountain, one of the new official 7 Wonders of Nature, and we took a cable car up to the top, which is a great experience because it goes in a 360 circle. So you get all the views, everyone gets all the views, no matter where you are standing in the cable car, and it's well worth it. But really what's worth it is this view. Look at this. So you're 1,089 meters above Cape Town, and you could take in these views. This is definitely a place you need to go. It's not always available because it does get too windy to go up, or you'll get the tablecloth, which are the clouds over Table Mountain. You'll see a picture of that later, but that's what they call it. But you'll even get to meet some little friends like this. There's a whole family of these little guys up there, but very cool experience. We then went to Kloof Street House for a lunch with wine pairing before we headed back to the hotel to relax a little bit. We have this view from our hotel of Table Mountain. You can see the tablecloth starting to form before we went down to the V&A waterfront. Such a cool area, great for shopping. They had really cheap massages, tons of restaurants, bars, but we went there before our dinner to jump on this catamaran ride for a sunset cruise. So we had our glass of champagne. If you look into the water, you'll see some seals jumping up, but the real treat was this sunset. Such a great experience, a great party. Even when the sun goes down, the music keeps playing as they have a DJ right on board. The next morning after breakfast, we headed out on a tour of Cape Town's stunning peninsula, and our first stop was False Bay to see these colorful changing room houses that are all along the bay, which were quite a cool sight to see, to be honest. But then we went over to Boulders Beach and we got to see the penguin colony, which is about 2,000 to 3,000 penguins. But look at these views. It was such a beautiful place. So what was so much fun though was seeing all the little baby penguins, full grown, just seeing them doing their thing. And then we went to this beach where you were able to go swimming, and there is a chance that you'd actually even get to go swimming with the penguins too, since they're all over this place. Truly a cool experience. After that, we went to Kalk Bay. This is a great place for shopping. All the people in the group were going shopping before we all met at Kalki's to try their famous fish and chips.
Fish and chips. Delicious.
Really good.
At Kalki's.
Very good. Oh my God.
Success.
It's really good.
After we finished our lunch at Kalki's, we then continued on the Peninsula tour to the Cape of Good Hope. Look at these views. I mean, I love that beach. I'd love to hike down there. You even see some of the animals grazing, but it was truly an amazing view when you got to Cape of Good Hope. This is where ships rounded the southern tip of Africa. It marked a major milestone when they did this. But as we continued on, finishing our Peninsula tour, just look at these views. Truly remarkable. We then went to Gold's Restaurant for our dinner and show, and it truly was a colorful and amazing experience. And here's a little sneak peek of the show. following morning, we headed to the Cape Winelands Franschhoek, which is such an amazing place. I've been here before, but one of my favorite parts is this wine tram right here. It's so much fun because you hop on and it will take you from winery to winery to winery. So our first stop was the Rickety Bridge, and this is such a beautiful winery right here. It's all outdoors like this. You're able to sit. We had a nice private wine tasting right out on the patio and tasted their wines, which were phenomenal. Before we headed back over to the wine tram to hop back on and head to our next winery. So see how fun this is. It's safe because you don't have to drive. All different types of wineries. Like this one was super cool. Tons of artwork all over. They even had a little museum of artwork. We had another private tasting here out at one of the tables and just really got to enjoy ourselves before we hop back on that wine tram again. And we stopped at our last stop, Leopard's Leap. It's a family vineyard, which we had a nice pairing with a lunch right here and all their different wines. And it was phenomenal. Truly an amazing day on the wine tram before we headed to our hotel, Le Cot, which is a Cape Dutch homestead right in the heart of Franschhoek. And I wanted to show you my room right here. So it was super nice. It's very spacious. It's clean. The whole property had such amazing gardens. The bed was super comfortable, a really nice spacious bathroom as well, with a shower and a tub. So this is truly, if you are coming to the Cape Winelands, it's in such a great location, and it truly is an amazing property. I mean, look at these views right here. You have a little patio outside, and you get the views of Franschhoek. And then also look at the pool. What a great pool. We did take advantage of it. It was a beautiful space and very relaxing. But before we headed to dinner, we walked through their gardens and then we headed into town. It was a great day. The next morning after breakfast, we headed to Babelstoren, which is a historic Cape Dutch farm and luxury hotel, and truly a place not to be missed. It has over 3.5 hectares of gardens and over 300 edible plants. And what was cool is they said that if the fruit is ripe, you're more than welcome to pick it and enjoy it. So very cool experience. They also have 346 acres of vineyards. But look at these trees. I mean, they're probably just African trees, but to me they look like they're almost prehistoric. But this guy, if you ever see him, if you're there, you have to stop him. He has a wealth of knowledge. He knows everything about the plants, everything about the whole property. He was so interesting and really gave this just the cherry on top of the experience. But the coolest thing he taught us was this. All right, so we have a billion-year-old rock, the oldest rocks found on Earth. Anything else that needs to be said?
Yeah, they actually came from an area that was washed down by the river for a great distance for them to find this.
So you have to touch them, right?
Gotta touch it. Billion-year-old. A lot of striations in it. So you can see that it had layers. You can see the lines. Different colors too. Nice thing to notice.
Yeah.
Billion years old. That's pretty darn good.
Had to come back to do it, touch them, because when you ever get the opportunity to touch a billion-year-old with a B rock. We then continued on to Boschendal, which is one of South Africa's most historic and picturesque wine estates, and we went for a picnic. So we had this table set up right here for a picnic. Otherwise, you could also sit down here and really have a picnic on the blankets. Great experience overall. We got a bottle of wine per 2 people and all this food, so tons and tons of food. Before we headed back to the hotel to hang out by the pool with a couple gin and tonics. Truly an amazing day. You can't go wrong. So we got to relax, and then we headed to another wine tasting. And what was cool about this wine tasting was it was in a private home that also has a vineyard, and the owner of the house gave us the whole wine tour, and then their sons cooked us a braai. A braai is the South African barbecue, and wow, was it phenomenal. Look at all this good meat we had. Definitely something that was a highlight of the trip. We loved it. The following morning, we caught our flight to one of the smallest, most amazing airports I've ever been to, Skakusa, which is located in Kruger National Park. We were picked up by our game drive riders for our safaris, and before we even got to our hotel, we got to see one of the big five, the rhinoceros. But look at this. This is our hotel, our first view. Yeah, that is a bridge. And there's a train on there. So once we arrived, we got a warm towel and then we were escorted to our rooms. So check it out. This is our rooms. They are luxury train cars that were, well, they were train cars converted into luxury hotel rooms, stocked with wine, gin, all different types of drinks, different snacks, super comfortable bed, great views, which you'll see shortly. But look at this, a nice shower right here, bathtub, bathroom. But the best parts are the views, like I was saying. Imagine taking a bath with that view, brushing your teeth, washing your face with this view, otherwise just waking up and looking out and seeing this beautiful view of the Sabi River. And that means that there are definitely animals there. So if we want to see some animals, first we got our hot chocolate and off we went for our first game drive. And look at who's here, the hyena, just walking around looking for some food. And that's the cool part about game drives, is you never know what you're going to see. You will definitely see that first deer, which is an impala. They are everywhere. You have the vultures, but what you do is you drive all over Kruger National Park and seeing who you see. You might see a baboon on the side of the road just hanging out in the rain. Otherwise, our number 2 big 5 animal, if you could see, there's actually 2 leopards hiding in those bushes. So if you give it a few seconds, you'll see them start to move. See, there you go. And they're peeking around, but they were hanging out there for a while. So we were trying to get our best views of them because, of course, you have to see the big 5, right? So we've seen 2 of them. Let's see if we get to see all 5. Of course, you're going to see the zebras. They're all over the place. Truly, really beautiful animals. The wildebeest you'll see, and you'll even get to see some of the little guys. So here's the warthogs with their 2 little young. And who's that? Do you see them? Can you see someone laying down? Is that our 3rd of the big 5? I don't know. To be continued. I'll show you again. But after you finish your game drive, you go back and you get to eat. So if it's in the morning, you'll have a big breakfast, then you have lunch. You always have the monkeys hanging out, hoping to steal some food from you. You're able to swim in one of their many different pools that they have as well throughout the day. You could come up here, you swim in the pool. Otherwise, just look out and see if you see any animals. There are 4 hippos in this picture. Do you see them? There they are. Give you a nice view, but they would just hang out down there. Super cool to see them in action. I mean, how huge they really are is crazy. Then in the afternoon, we'll get on another game drive. And what's cool about game drives is you're always driving around and then you'll stop. And as you saw, there was some drinks, but we'll get back into that. Here is our friend. He was now sleeping on the road, but we woke him up, obviously, with all these lights, the poor guy. But you can see him yawning. He's probably still a little tired, but how cool. Number 3 of the big 5 we got to see. And look, even the hippos are still hanging out at night. Everything's still moving. There is no stopping. So we got a good night's sleep, and we wake up to a beautiful sunrise. Once it starts in the morning, you get to have a little breakfast, a little coffee, tea, whatever you need, and then out we go for our morning game drive. So this is a typical day on safari. You wake up at a 4:15, they'll give you a wake-up call. You get a little snack, you head on out and see what animals you find. Here's the hyenas again. They're always wandering around looking for anything that they could scavenge. But what's cool is you drive all around Kruger National Park. So there's all different types of scenery that you'll see. A lot of it's flat, but you do get little hills. You get to see the elephants. I mean, look at this, a whole family of them. Very cool experience. Tons of different types of deer. There are so many different types all over the place. Giraffes galore as well, which is super cool. But then you'll come back, even when you're at the hotel, you'll get to see some lizards. You get to relax again through the day, like I said. But then at 4 o'clock, they'll have their afternoon tea. You could have some drinks, you could have some snacks. You could look out here, see if you see any hippos. Not today, but you do have the crocodile. I think he scared him away. There we go. Now we're headed back out on another game drive. And again, you never know what you're going to see. A random bird, a baby giraffe running. These birds, I guarantee you'll see, because you see them everywhere. They're all over the place. But this is what's cool. You get to see the wild dogs. I mean, there are so many animals. It's just like you're really watching National Geographics or something like that. But look, here is our fourth, but actually our fifth, because I didn't say with the elephants, but now the Cape Buffalo. We were able to see the big five on this tour, which was amazing. We were super excited to have that opportunity. South Africa is truly a country everyone needs to go to at least once in their life. It is a journey to get there, but once you are there, it is one of the most amazing experiences you will ever have. Cape Town is a fantastic city, so many different things to do there, great food, but that's the whole country as a whole, really. Winelands were amazing, great wine, again, great food, and same with safari. I mean, to see these animals, as you could see in here, and this is just a very small percentage of my videos, like I have so many videos of so many different animals, and it is something I will never forget. So if you ever want to go to South Africa, contact us here at Elite Travel and Events, and we will be happy to plan your dream vacation. This is something you will never forget, and you deserve it. Bring your family, just like you see here. You got the elephants, the monkeys, and go have a great time. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll see you next Friday.
Thank you so much for joining us here today on Our Elite Escapes. Make sure you come back next Friday as Dan and Melody sit down to answer all your questions on our Argentina adventure tour. And now, come find your joy in South Africa.
What was that? How was it?
I see the world through the eyes of a child. The world's wonders mesmerize me, discovering joy in the people where the sun still shines. Itlang mabonin, Mzansi Africa, rediscovering the sense of wonder. I see all colors, even those beyond the rainbow. I can see clearly now the light shines so bright. I feel the spirit of my country, drums echoing the pulse of Mzansi, giving peace, joy, love and hope, and the sun still shines. Itlang mabonin, Mzansi Africa, rediscovering the sense of wonder. I see all colors, even those beyond the rainbow. I can see clearly now